And welcome to the Dimmitt program. This being Mother's Day, coming upon Mother's Day, I thought I would share a story about my mother. My mother was Mother of the Year in Los Angeles. I even have a plate around here to commemorate that occasion. This was about 20 years ago, but like so many other things in my life, because my house is not really organized, I cannot locate the plate, and I want to get the video done, so here we go. Two stories quickly about my mother. My mother was a person who had raised 7 children, and by the time I came along, since I was the last of 7 children, she had pretty well figured out parenting, except for one slight flaw, and that was explaining sex to children. And I was a kind of a naive young man, destined and on a fast track to be a Catholic priest. You know, when you have 7 kids in a family, one of them has to be a Catholic priest, if it's a Catholic family. Well, I was the youngest, and none of the others had gone into religious life, so I was the one that was going to do it. So Mother never felt it was important to explain to me how children were born. I found out, even without her telling me. I probably was a little late finding this out. I probably was about 12 years old. And I found it out on the school ground, on the playground. I came straight home. I was like an arrow shot from a bow, straight to the front door. Threw open the door, ran right into the house, and I said, "Mother, I found out how they have babies." And she said, Oh, how is that? She had told me it had to do with birds and bees, and I never bought that. So I explained it to her in great detail, and my mother, sweat beginning to form on her brow, could not even look me in the eye. And I finished it with this question: "Mother, did you and Dad do that?" She looked me right in the eye, trembling a bit, and said, No, we did not do that." Well, I don't think it was a virgin birth, so I think she lied. Then there was another occasion. It's when I was in high school, early high school. I had a girlfriend. Her name, I forgot. It's so far back. But I was walking down the hall with her in a Catholic high school, and we were holding hands. And the Monsignor, who was the principal of the school, saw this, and since I was destined on fast track, remember, to be a Catholic priest, he was concerned, and he called my mother immediately on the telephone and said, "Jer's mom, this is Father Sharp. Do you know what I caught your son doing with a girl in the hall this afternoon?" My mother, of course, thinking the worst, since I had found out how sex had occurred, she said, "No, what, Father?" "Well, I found them, and they were doing it right in the hall." My mother, just outraged, comes rushing in her car down to the school to meet with the father. And when Father said they were holding hands in the hall, that's not what Mother had thought that we were doing. I really want to thank all of those that put video responses up on the first blog. Believe me, I appreciate it. And it's those video responses that'll make this all work. And I want to thank MoMA. What a dear lady she is. She had a contest. We had to do a video. It had to be under 30 seconds. It had to tell a story. And I did one with a joke that I used to use when I did stand-up, and got it all in 30 seconds. And I was just really amazed that it won that video contest. And she sent me the prize. I wanted to show you what MoMA sent me. First of all is this beautiful whatever it is. MoMA, what is this? But it's nice. I could wear it on my head. It could keep me warm. Bentley likes to drag it around. And this box, and it was sealed. I don't know how they did that. It had official government seal. And let me show you real quick what's in there. Rolling tobacco. I roll cigarettes because I don't want to pay no $5 for a pack of cigarettes, especially when I'm stopped. The box contained a beautiful tobacco pouch. This is a fine-made tobacco pouch. Pipe cleaners. A clean pipe is a safe pipe. And a pipe tool. Got to have a tool when you smoke a pipe. And it had the pipe. A beautiful pipe, and I break stems on pipes all of the time. So it's really, I can't tell you, Moma, how much I appreciate this pipe. I'm going to light one for the first time and try it out. That's a fine pipe, and it works very well. Thank you, Moma. Well, once again, one of those boxes is opening. This time it's XM radio, satellite radio. There are shock jocks. Howard Stern is one. And there's this Ian and Anthony, or whatever their name is. They did a very bad radio broadcast the other day. They talked about having sex with the First Lady and Condoleezza Rice. This should never have gotten on the air. It did. And now, of course, there are those harpies that are on their soapboxes saying that these people should be removed from the air. Well, let's analyze this. Satellite radio is radio that you have to pay for each month, and it is worth paying for. I have satellite radio, and I hear new songs, and I like folk music, and they have new folk singers. It's fantastic. The quality is supreme. It will be the destruction of radio as we know it. There will be a time when everybody's going to have satellite radio, and everyone's going to be willing to pay $12 a month for it. It's if you've never tried it, you can't even begin to imagine what it is like compared to commercial broadcasting. But there's a censorship built into satellite radio, and that's the fact that people will drop their subscriptions. There are people, I'm sure, that take their satellite receiver and gladly pay that because they want to hear Howard Stern, and they want to hear that blue humor that these shock jocks do. The point here, you just got to think about this, is we as a country, the United States of America, we are to be an example to the entire world of what freedom is all about. And these harpies who run around and want everything they don't like removed, censored, taken away, to make it some kind of a perfect world as they see it, well, shame on them. If we're going to have freedom of speech in the United States, we've got to have freedom of speech in the United States. It's almost like being a little bit pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. You either have freedom of speech or you do not have freedom of speech. It is that simple. Satellite radio may contain blue humor, and true talent doesn't have to have blue humor. What is blue humor? For those of you who do not know what blue humor is, I'll explain it. I did stand-up comedy for a brief time. I'll talk about that on another blog. And when you can't make the audience laugh, or when the audience is laughing where they're not supposed to laugh, it's real scary. The audience that watches the stand-up comedian is normally a little bit sloshed because they're serving drinks the whole time. So when nothing is working, you resort to blue humor. That's dirty jokes. And that forces them to laugh. Because they want their friends to think they got the joke. They don't want to sit there like some kind of a doof that didn't understand it so his friends can see how dumb they are. Well, it's a cheap way to get a laugh. And most club owners realize that. Apparently our broadcasting partners have not quite figured that out. Or maybe they have. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. It's bad to make these things too long because nobody watches them, and then they make comments without a clue of what was really said. Hopefully we have not bored you to death. And now, if you will excuse me.